Thank you.
All right, moving on what's brewing today. The Whole Truth, a 100% clean label food brand, has raised $15 million in its Series B round, led by Sequoia Capital India. The round saw participation from existing investors, Matrix Partners India and Sauce VC. The fresh capital will be deployed towards scaling up the brand's in-house manufacturing capacity, hiring great talent, and in growing retail distribution. To elaborate on all of these plans, joining me now is Shashank Mehta, founder and CEO of The Whole Truth. Shashank, welcome to Startup Street. You don't call yourselves a food brand, but a truth brand. Shashank, what made you come up with this philosophy? I understand The Whole Truth is the result of your struggle with obesity and your realization that the main culprit was unhealthy packaged food loaded with hidden sugars and chemicals masquerading as healthy. So tell me, how have you managed to keep your packaged food healthy, as it's kind of an oxymoron, packaged and healthy?
Thank you so much for having me, and that's a great question to start with. Actually, we need to define what healthy means. And at The Whole Truth, we kind of hate this word because we believe it's the food marketer's biggest weapon, because, what's healthy? Is it keto, paleo, low fat, high protein, low carb? No one knows the definition, and hence, the marketer gets to sell us a new definition every year. In our definition, healthy is equal to clean. If you're eating food that you can recognize, that you can pronounce, that you find in your kitchen, then that's healthy. And that's how, that's the lens that we brought to packaged food also, that we'll only make food where we are so proud of the ingredients because they're so clean that we'll declare all of them on the front of pack because we have nothing to hide. And that's what we mean by 100% clean label. And that's what we mean by bringing truth back to packaged food.
Shashank, clean brands are a rage today, from clean beauty products to clean food labels. Consumers are hooked on to this notion. Clearly, there is immense potential. In fact, you make quirky yet educational content that helps consumers understand and decode their food choices. You also have your health publication, Truth Be Told. What conversations are you having with your consumers? What more are they looking for?
Actually, the only conversation that we want to have with our consumers is educating them about how to think about food, how to read nutrition labels, how to read ingredient lists, how to really decode whether all the claims that are being made on the front of pack, whether it's, low fat or, weight loss or detox or antioxidants, do they really stand up the test of the back of pack? We believe that if we can educate consumers on how to think about food, our sales will automatically go up because we are the cleanest brand out there. And that's our entire content effort is geared towards education for the layman consumer so that they don't get fooled by marketing tricks.
Shashank, now let's talk about the $15 million funds that you've raised currently. You plan to scale up your in-house manufacturing capacity. So will you be looking to set up more manufacturing units? If yes, where will these be and what kind of increase in capacities are we talking about?
Sure. So one of our biggest strengths and the only reason we are able to, make this 100% clean food, which no one else in the industry is making, is we make our own products. We make our own food. We've always had our production in-house. We recently launched chocolates, and even that entire bean-to-bar facility has been set up in-house. And as you rightly said, a large part of the reason we need to raise funds is we invest them into ramping up our manufacturing facility. So yes, over the next 1 year, we're going to expand our production capacity by over almost 10x of what it is today, because we want to set for the next 2 to 3 years, not just for the next year. And we are based out of Mumbai, so most of the production capacity is in and around Mumbai, and we mostly see expansion in production happening at the outskirts of Mumbai only.
Okay. Shashank, how competitively have you priced your products? Also, what are the best sellers? And if you could also talk to us about your top markets.
So we were born as a protein bar brand, like that was the first category we entered, and that continues to be our bestseller. But we recently launched chocolates, and that's pretty much like, I think by next month, that will be our bestseller. So that's the fastest growing category. In terms of markets, we're still, I would say, heavily concentrated in the top 5 metros. So Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore would be the top 3 cities. But we are very quickly getting into, the next 5 to 10 sets of cities, and that's where the next wave of growth will come from.
Okay. Shashank, since your Series A fundraise in July 2021, you've grown 7x. You've launched, like you mentioned, 100% clean label bean to bar chocolates. How has that worked out for you, A? And then what are the current growth numbers and what is the road to profitability looking like?
So the bean to bar chocolates have been it's our biggest and fastest growing launch yet. It's funny when you think about it that while, as you said, clean label and better for you is such a rage and there are so many brands
Yes.
which are entering so many categories, chocolates is the one place where there is no better for you play. We are still being sold the same old sugar-laden chocolate. And I understand it's an indulgence, but why do you have to indulge with bad ingredients and with refined sugar when you can do it with dates and no added sugar, right? So I think consumers are resonating with that proposition very strongly, and hence, bean to bar chocolates are doing very well for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and in terms of growth, we more than tripled the business last year. We quadrupled the business the year before that. We're looking to more than double the business in this coming year. So the pace of growth is fairly high, and it's being led out of both category expansion as we keep going into more categories and expansion.
So talking about category expansion, before we quickly wrap up, what are the future growth plans and any new categories or products that are in the pipeline?
So while I can't divulge the products that we launch, let's go back to where we started. We are a truth brand, and we will apply this lens of truth to whichever category of food we believe consumers are currently being lied to and being sold products under the garb of being healthy, which are not so.
So you can't tell
whichever categories of food you can think of which fit this,
you can't tell me the category, but how soon? How soon?
So we now have a cadence of launching 1 to 2 categories every year. So in another 6 to 7 months, you should see another big one coming.
All right, and we wish you the very best for that. Many thanks, Shashank, for joining us on Startup Street.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, thanks, Shruti, for taking us through that conversation as well. On that note, we have to take a short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, we will be joined by Virohan's co-founder and CEO, Kunal Dudeja, to discuss the company's plans going forward.